Coffee Time Wednesdays with the Prairie Farm Podcast.
Can't hit us with the jingle.
One, two, three. That was a way better
Go
clap.
team.
That's for sure making.
Conservation.
Oh no. Welcome back. I sound sad. That corniness hurt my heart.
Nicholas was sweating today.
Dude, I was
Literally.
sweating. Whoa, hey, no stories yet. No stories. What? Yeah, that's real.
It was hot out today.
Yo,
Yeah.
It was Midwest hot out today. It was trans exasperation. What is that word? What can
Evapotranspiration.
Evapotranspiration.
It was not evapotranspiring today. Well, it was, but
No.
not like corn sweat.
No, but I'm saying the Midwest gets that hefty sweat. No, corn sweat is something different. We don't have enough green. Too much brown outside.
Trans exasperation.
Something totally different.
Making up all kinds of weird words over here, man.
Oh my goodness.
Made me giggle.
Oh no, we can't go into word meanings right now. What we need to go into is the fact that this is the Prairie Farm Podcast, Coffee Time Wednesday. Your favorite host, Nicholas Lirio. Your favorite co-host, Ken Boucher, and your favorite co-host to the co-host, Joel Van Weingarten.
Can I get a T-shirt that says that? Co-host to the co-host.
Yeah, Nicholas, put that on your list.
Assistant to the manager. Yeah, I'm gonna go first today because you guys went first, and then Kent took 38 minutes of our 15 minutes.
I did not.
No, we don't get a lot done. I feel like we just hang out, and then we have great topics, and then we don't.
You know, I was so disappointed when you called me to ask me to pick up the podcast stuff because I was gonna get here. I'd be like, "Hey, do you want me to go get the podcast stuff out of your truck?"
Oh.
Just so I could see you drop a brick in those tight britches of yours.
Dude, I was about ready to. So we had to chase cows out of our field twice today.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 times. There was a
Part-time
borderline-
cowboy.
Yeah. My word. Oh, guys. Okay. No, we got to finish this story. And there was a moment we're chasing these cows. We're making noise. The bull, all the other cows take off. The bull, not castrated, filled with testosterone, is listening to us run, banging things together, and it looks me straight in the eye.
Yeah, he was doing a little calculus on
Oh, man.
effort running away versus effort stomping this guy.
Yeah, and thankfully he was like, well, all the women are leaving. I better go with them. But he wasn't running quick. He was just kind of trotting away. Kit and I weren't about to go swat him in the old butt.
What was your backup plan if he started charging you?
Run faster than Kent. If he started chasing me, I would run to wherever Kent was and then just run faster.
Yeah, I'm in work boots, and you sink 3 inches with every step into that field today.
Yeah, and let's and
Not good cow chasing conditions.
What right now? What do you think your 100-meter dash is?
And I'm sub.
10 seconds is world class.
I bet I'm sub 30.
Sub 30-minute 100-meter dash.
Now we have to do this for social media.
Just like a real 100-meter
You know what
dash.
happens to guys my age that all of a sudden decide they're going to sprint? They injure one of 2 things or both all in one fell swoop. Either their Achilles,
Yes.
rupture an Achilles, or they tear a hammy.
Or their pride. After they run
That is
Those are
always
things.
damage. That is always damage.
Oh, man.
It's true though. It's always the Achilles.
Yep. The one thing that you won't, or the one time you won't get injured in in a sudden violent burst of motion above the age of 30 is when you're saving your kid. All of a sudden you turn into a superhero when your kids.
I believe you.
I can't tell you how many times I've caught my kids, 3 centimeters from smacking their head on the hard floor or something while I was laying
After
on my
you push
back.
them off the couch. Dude, I'm a hero. Dude, speaking of kids, you're about to have a kid.
That's right.
A
Number
fourth,
4.
A 4th child, a
Yep.
3rd daughter.
You're gonna be double outnumbered.
Oh yeah. And I will reveal her name on the next coffee time because
It's Nicole.
She's getting induced.
So the baby was due yesterday, and my wife had a doctor's appointment today, and the doc was like, "Yeah, if you don't have this baby by Thursday, you're going to be induced. So
Next
my
time we
next
talk.
coffee time, I'll be able to reveal
You have
my
a
name.
kid, no matter what.
Should I leave a hint? Should I leave a
It's
hint?
Nicole. Everybody knows the name of this child.
What's a good
I'll find a
hint?
good hint here. So my wife told, I'll give you 2 hints. My wife told her family that her name starts with a vowel, which, it's not a super good
Olive.
But it could be construed that her name is somewhat related to my profession.
Something
Andrea.
in nature.
So there you go.
It's going to be named after a prairie flower.
Oh,
Maybe.
yeah.
I tried to. I wanted to
Purple
name.
coneflower.
I tried to get my wife to buy into Aster, but there's just like too many.
Ooh.
There's too many harsh nicknames that could be thrown out there for her.
If
later.
the world
Yeah,
wasn't
Aster.
cruel, that would
Yeah.
be a beautiful name. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that like you take a Latin name, like Echinacea is almost there, I feel like. That'd be a cool one.
Yeah.
You call her Eki.
Yeah, I don't know. Kindergarten might be, or 5th grade might be hard
Yeah.
for her if she
Bill's
was named
character.
Eki.
Yeah. We are so off topic.
No, we are not even close.
That better not be your topic today. That I'm having
You're-
a kid. Okay, go ahead.
No. I have a real topic, and people might feel awkward about it, but I want to dive into it.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
I gotta go.
I just got a call here.
Famous for leaving. Sometimes if someone comes to the office and they're taking way too long and they're like just talking our ear off, Dad will quote unquote call us for a meeting. Hey, we need to have our meeting. And that happens. Like there's a few people that come around and then they just don't leave.
Yeah.
And so Dad will go to the office and 10 minutes later give us a call. Hey, I need to go. We got to have a meeting. It's like, oh, well, sorry.
Meeting.
Doug. We'll just call them Doug. It's not any of them, but okay.
Wow,
So
way to just make Doug Duran feel like he's the guy there.
yeah, Doug Dern, just can't stand that dude. Man, actually,
Doug is awesome.
Doug is awesome.
He's actually one of our favorite people. So
Yeah.
do not take Nick literally.
And you're waking up at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning to go
No.
see him?
3:50.
Oh,
I gotta
geez.
No, you're getting up earlier than that because you got to do a mix before you leave.
Oh, my goodness.
Al, you better be happy for this, Al.
Nick's getting up at 2 a.m.
2:50. Yep.
I'll just stay up. It'll be fine. All right, guys, I'm going to bring up the Bible because I remembered we were having a conversation a while ago with Taylor Keene, who is a Native American and from my understanding has strong spiritual Native American beliefs. And I don't know if you remember this, but he brought up what he called kind of a Western view of the verse that talks about subduing the land. So right at the beginning of the Bible, God...
So Leopold used a term to describe that, and he was using Aldo Leopold's term,
Yes.
which is an Abrahamic view on the land.
I did not know Leopold was kind of the guy.
I think he was
who
the
termed
first guy to say that. Yeah.
But so what that view is that at the very beginning of the Bible, God creates the heaven and the earth, and then it talks about how he made man, and then he says, go and have dominion over the land or subdue the earth. And that has been, and to Taylor Keene's credit on what he was saying is by many people who are saying that they're Christians and believe what the Bible says, took that and said, well, then we better just get the land to do what we want it to do. Mm-hmm. And I want to address that because I am a strong believer that the Bible is telling the truth. And I don't believe that that verse, I believe it's Genesis 1:28, that verse is saying we can do whatever we want. I had it pulled up last time and then you guys took 38 minutes.
Because subdue is an interesting term,
Right.
you know, but it's translated from what is the real question.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That's
what's-
always the right question to ask. Yeah.
Yeah, so the
original
I mean, there's
language.
different versions of the Old Testament in terms of like, because there was the original Hebrew, and then there was what is considered a very legitimate translation into Greek. But I think, and God blessed them, and God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over every living thing that moves on the earth." So, your only example of what God in the Bible describes as good, subduing, and dominion is when Jesus enters the scene in the New Testament. and he has his own kingdom called the Kingdom of Heaven. And this is supposed to be our example of how we subdue and have dominion. And his version was do what was best for the others, was to totally serve and help the others. And so that's where I wanted to bring this in terms of conservation. I think that actually matches perfectly with conservation, because if you, let's say you buy 140 acres and all of them are tillable, and you said, well, I'll just tile it all, even though a lot of it's highly erodible. I can make some good money off the corn. I'm subduing this land. I am making it do what I want it to do. Well, if you said that about your kids, you would be a terrible parent. Well, yeah, I'm disciplining them. I'm getting them to do what I want them to do instead of like, yes, yeah, having dominion.
Be subdued.
Yeah, be quiet, sit still. That is terrible. I'm not a parent. I think that is terrible parenting. And our Mr. Dad over here, I think, would agree.
One time, Nicholas had to parent my children so my wife and I could go to a musical.
Oh, my goodness. I made the mistake of starting to wrestle with them because I just want to be like a fun uncle that they love hanging out with. His children, you know how you like get more and more excited? Like humans can do that. I started to realize, there's no limit to
break.
How excited. They can just get limitlessly excited to the point that for like 2 straight minutes, we were all just screaming in the living room at the top of our lungs. And some of them were shaking like, and like trying to hit me with bricks. And I was like, okay, we're going to do dinner. We're going to get some dino chicken nuggets from Tyson's.
I know this place, guys.
So anyway, so what does that mean? Dominion means, yes, that you have authority over it, but you use that authority for the betterment of the thing. So like in the old days, the king, yes, he could say what was going to happen in a land, but that was for the better of the people that he was serving. Our government is sworn in to serve us. Even though they have authority over a lot of what happens in our lives, they are sworn in to help us. And I think similarly with subduing and dominion, it is saying the same thing. Hey, you're in charge of this land, but it is for the better of this land. In fact, if we don't leave the land better than we found it, then we, and my strong belief, we did not do our job. So I wanted to clear that up, because even if you're not a Christian, or you don't believe in the Bible and what was called, oh man, what is that called? That first,
the first
part of Genesis.
That part in Genesis I just read.
The Abrahamic.
Yes, thank you. If you don't like believe in that, I wanted to say that just because we're Christians doesn't mean like we believe that we can just do whatever we want with land. Mm-hmm. And if you are a Christian, please don't believe you can just do whatever you want with your land.
Yeah, if you are a Christian, you look at who the first people are in that story and why God made Adam, says to put him in the garden to keep it, right? Mm-hmm. To keep something doesn't mean to frivolously waste it, or to
exploit
wear it
resources.
out. Right. Yeah.
Yes.
It means to keep it around.
Yes, to tend, to take care of.
And doesn't he also say that about Eve? Like you keep Eve, like you care for her, you keep the land, you care for the land.
Yeah.
Like he kind of uses the same verbiage. Yeah,
I mean it's a different attitude than what is often has been used to justify. And it's not just like, Leopold did a great job calling out a lot of problems at the time. And I think that attitude probably existed more in older times than it does today, but it does still exist for sure. And, like Nicholas said, it's not a correct attitude to get from that. I once heard a guy that we were on a hike with, actually we were with Taylor when we were hiking, and he said, yeah, it says dominion, not dominate. And it's like, that's a really good way to say it.
Yeah.
And it's a good point you bring up. You can also hear more on that topic when we interviewed John O'Keefe on his film. And John used to host a podcast back in the very early days of podcasts.
Joy, this is going to kill you.
The 90s.
It was called the Catholic Commons. It was like one of the first big podcasts.
Like, period. He had well over 1 million.
Like started in like 2007, 2008.
What?
And we were like, why didn't you keep it going?
No, he was getting like I think he said 1 million downloads a week. Something crazy like that.
Yeah, and he just was like, it played its course. And I don't think he ever made a dime off of it.
Right. Yeah.
He just had
my
a
God.
So
huge podcast.
authority on the, he was a prof at,
a
ties
prof
back.
at.
Yeah, he was a professor at Creighton, which is where our friend Taylor Keene is a professor at, and he definitely studied that out, and so you can hear his thoughts on the matter there if you go to that episode.
Yeah, that's really good because he has like strong religious beliefs, and I wouldn't.
I've
even
always
say
wanted to go
necessarily-
back and interview him more about that because John is just such a thoughtful guy, and
Yeah,
man, great voice for podcast too.
he does have a good voice, and it's kind of weird because actually, if you listen to that podcast, in my opinion, the first half was like pretty good, but the second half was just some of the best podcasts that we've had.
Yeah, so go back and check it out.
Yeah, but I wanted to bring it up because it kind of like sits under an underlying tone, especially because we're in like rural Iowa, which is highly religious, at least claiming to be religious. You won't find very many people that don't say they don't at least believe in God. And then God can be used as an excuse to like do what we want. And that is wrong, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, nicely done there. Man, you did walk an awkward tightrope there, but you did a pretty good job. I didn't feel too bad.
No,
I kind of
thank
wondered
you.
when
Yeah.
you had the Bible last week, and then you like never had a topic, and I was like, "Well, he brought up Bible." Maybe like can't
this
piss
isn't a
him off.
Bible study?
Be like, "Ken, I want to talk about this." I brought my Bible.
We're going to talk about this afterwards.
I was just confronting Kent on how terrible of a...
Okay. No, the most awkward time I've ever been on a podcast with Nicholas is when he started talking about the Detroit Tigers. But I'll just leave it right.
Detroit Tigers.
I'll just leave it right
That like
there.
haunts my dreams. And
We don't have to go down that.
I'm not going there. I'm not going there. Actually, the person I did it with, I think I edited it out of one of the podcasts. But
Let's just leave it here. If the person that had to suffer that awkward tension with us during that time,
They didn't
if
correct
if they're
you?
tuning in right now, just go ahead and smile. We know. I'd warned him. Just know this too, that I warned him. I said, "Don't go there, Nicholas. You don't know what you're talking about." He's like, "No, I think I do." And
I did not.
And
I did
I still am owed a Nestle over that, by the way, probably.
That is hilarious.
Oh,
You guys and your ice cream. Oh my
I know.
goodness. Tis the season though.
It is. It is. Well, my topic has to do with Lazarus species. You guys know it? Speaking of biblical terms.
Yeah, I know.
Holy cow.
Back from the dead.
So there's two Lazaruses in the Bible, right?
yes, yeah. There is the
Sure.
leper.
There's the Lazarus that stayed dead and the Lazarus that didn't, right? And but is now dead. Isn't that weird to think about? All the people like in the Bible that it talks about being raised back from the dead, other than Jesus, of course, are like dead again now. It's like they died again. It's like just kind of weird to think about. Anyways,
We all die. Ken.
This is
We
what's
all
keeping
poop
kids
and
up
we
at
all
night.
die.
some people do it twice.
Some people poop twice.
But so the Lazarus species is after the guy who didn't stay dead, and it's saying that these species that are thought to be extinct, somebody finds evidence which leads to a confirmation. Wow, we did find this species. They're back. They weren't extinct. They were just
In hiding.
in this little tiny piece of habitat somewhere. And a lot of times we're trained to think like, man, if I could, I got this pond out here. If I could just get one, male muskie and one female muskie in my farm pond, now I got a muskie pond, because they're going to make lots of muskie babies. And then all those babies, when they go to have babies, are all going to be little inbred muskie babies, right?
Beautiful.
So even though we a lot of times we treat it as, oh, we found one. As long as we can find one of the opposite sex, we can save this species. Kind of like there's a term of that is functionally extinct, right, or genetically extinct. The vaquita, I think is how you say it, which is like a porpoise that lives down, I think, close to San Francisco, off in that part of the Pacific Ocean. There's like literally 9 left.
Oh,
And
that's so
and
sad.
So it's like, yeah, they're here, but I mean, to try and come up with any kind of breeding program to keep them around, it's like there's too much cousin loving going on there. And
you can marry your cousin, Ken, in half the states in the U.S.
Doesn't make it
Scientists have determined it's far enough away. First cousins. Yeah, I know.
I don't think scientists have determined that.
Well,
what's legal and what's
Are these scientists from Missouri? No.
I don't know if scientists have determined, but it's in half the states it is legal to marry your cousin.
Well, I didn't write those laws. But anyways, so
What's the
Lazarus species? The Lazarus species that I'm talking about here is the thylacine, or the Tasmanian tiger, or the Tasmanian wolf. You guys have probably seen this before, whether you realize it or not. It was in a movie like, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago with Willem Dafoe, called The Hunter, where he's like sent on this mission to. There's rumors that there's a Tasmanian wolf still living in Tasmania, and they need the blood for this big pharma company that there's some kind of protein or something. I fell asleep while I was watching the film, to be honest with you, but because I'm a dad, and but anyways, there's all this talk like, oh, I bet they're still out there, because the last known living one, I just looked this up. Wikipedia gave me the date here, but I knew it was in this ballpark. Died in captivity in 1936. So my grandfather, who's still living, was born in 1937. So it's like not that long ago, right? Within 100 years. And it's also compelling because we're talking about something the size of like a dog, like a German Shepherd or something.
Like, how could you lose that?
It's a big thing, whereas if it was like, oh, the, whatever parakeet went extinct, it's kind of
They're kind of annoying anyway.
But like when a rhino goes extinct,
right,
you're like, whoa.
Yeah, or a panda,
exactly.
something that's cute.
Oh.
Then it gets all the headlines.
Exactly. Well, and
That
then
would
you
be real
factor
sad.
in where it's from. Tasmania is a very rural, a lot of wilderness. It's like, there's got to be another one out there, right? So, allegedly, like within the last couple weeks, this guy reaches out to, I think his name is Forrest Galland. I've heard him on Rogan actually before.
I think I listened to that one too.
Yeah,
he's like a big.
Didn't
he survive in the wilderness for a while?
Oh, he's done all sorts of crazy things. He's got a TV show. I can't remember what it's called. It's like Dead or Alive or something like that.
Something like that, or Survivor or something.
Yeah,
yeah.
And it's he's investigating these cases of animals that are believed to be extinct or on the brink of extinction, and he does a deep dive on it and tries to find them and stuff like that. So somebody reached out to him with video footage of what they say is an injured thylacine that they came across while they were driving down the road. It was a couple of American tourists, father and son. They're driving down the highway there in Tasmania, and they see this thing up ahead, and they like stop to look at it because they think it's a dog that got hit by a car. They want to like help it, and the footage looks very compelling. I did not see the whole video from Forrest, so I don't know what his exact conclusion is. There was definitely sketchy details around it, like I did see in the video that I was watching, that the guy, the kid who shot the footage, did not want his face to be shown. He was very careful about his identity being known, which could be because he watched The Hunter. You know what I mean? And like he doesn't want it to be exploited or something. He's freaked out by I don't know. Could be like a conspiracy theory kind of guy. I don't know.
Is this the guy that I see reels of, and he's like, yeah, we went to this swampland, and like the water
yoink.
on the ground was like looked like
the
stars.
yoink guy?
I don't know.
The guy who like grabs and be like, oh, check out this baby alligator.
No, I freaking love that guy. You know what we're talking about? He's like,
No
I'm in the
clue.
Everglades. I'm looking for a 20-foot python. Oh, here's a little swamp puppy, and he'll be like, boop, he'll bop, and it's in the middle of the night, and he'll bop these crocodile or alligators on the nose. He'll find pythons. He'll find like huge
Poisonous
spiders
snakes and stuff.
Yeah, and he'll just like let the snakes
And
bite him.
whenever he grabs him, he says yoink, like
Yeah,
in a super
he'll go,
annoying
"Yoink,"
way.
and then and he's always talking like in a cute voice.
It's
And he's
not
like,
that guy. It is not that guy.
No. It's a different guy. I can't tell what's AI
know what?
and not AI right now
Well,
on real. I don't know. Like,
Speaking of conspiracy theories,
no, it's real. Like,
This is actually a simulation right now. You and me.
oh,
Kids being projected.
no, but you know what? You know the reels, and they like give all these facts, and then you're like, wait, I think I've just been watching an AI made reel.
Oh yeah.
They're all over
true.
the place.
Yeah, you sent me one of those propaganda machine.
Yes, it was a great reel.
No, I most definitely listened to that Rogan episode with Forrest. A
Yeah.
very interesting guy.
Yeah.
He almost got
Yeah.
attacked by wolves out in Alaska, which
Yeah,
is a
there was
pretty
a-
odd thing too.
I can't remember the whole. I listened to the whole interview, but that was kind of I bet it was over a year ago when that one was on. But
So a Tasmanian devil is still alive. Was
not
the
devil, a tiger. So
same thing.
Well, no, Tasmanian devils are a different critter, and
They're
very
around,
much.
and
They're very much.
Wait, that's a
doing okay.
real animal.
They're like
Yeah.
a top 5. Don't give a crap. Like it's like them, honey badgers. They're like in that
I
Wolverines.
thought it was just a Looney Tunes character. Are
No,
you sure?
It's based on. Real
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
In fact, an interesting Tasmanian devil fact for you is they were one of the first examples of communicable cancer. They found that they were giving each other cancer because when they'd fight, like I think it had to do with like they'd cut each other's faces all up when they were having little territorial fights or breeding right fights and stuff like that, and they found that like an animal that had cancer would actually transmit it over to. Yeah. But anyways, back to Tasmanian
I need
tigers.
to point something out because did you hear all those facts that Kent probably read once and he
Yeah.
remembers? I will be like, hey, can you go get me 10 pounds of buffalo grass? And he'll go out to the shop and call me, how many pounds? 10 pounds buffalo grass. And they'll call me 2 seconds later. Whoa, what species? Buffalo grass.
How do you spell that?
And then it'll come in and be like, there's only like 13,000 Tasmanian devils left in the world. In fact, they actually live on this one rare plant. They need to survive. And like buffalo grass, kid. Buffalo grass.
Well, let me keep going in my groove here, Nicholas.
sorry.
You can make fun of me after we hit stop on the recording. But no, he is right. I have terrible short-term memory. I blame it on kids. But no, so there's a lot of interest in it right now because people want it to be true, right? They want the thylacine to still be around. I want the thylacine to still be around. But going back to what we talked about with, if you only have one of them, even if you were to find, we got a male Tasmanian tiger here, just got to find the female, boom, species saved. It's not gonna happen, right? Because they would be genetically extinct already. But it is hopeful that maybe we still have some around. I hope I don't. Well, maybe I should hope I see the day when the vaquita is gone because it might mean I die really young if I don't. But like it's nice knowing that even these genetically or functionally extinct organisms are still around.
What's the other? The gray fox is like basically there's like not enough of a genetic.
No, I
South
thought those
Carolina.
are still around.
No, you're talking about red wolves.
Red wolves. Yeah,
Yeah.
the red wolves.
Red wolves
Okay,
are
thank
another
you.
example of that.
Yeah.
And so I hope the thylacine, I hope that footage is legit. But like Nicholas said, AI is getting pretty dang good. And
Yeah.
and as always, right? As always, the footage comes at nighttime. It's a little fuzzy. You get like that washout from the flash or the headlights or whatever. You're like, I think I'm looking at what is a whatever. But so, anyways.
It's just someone's lost German Shepherd.
The last
Looks like a tiger.
wild
In Tasmania.
the last wild thylacine, I think, was killed when a guy like walked out of his house and he had some chickens and he saw one like hanging around the chicken coop and he shot it. And I don't think he realized like, dude, that was like the last one.
Finish them
You
off.
should-
Genocide.
shot it.
Literally.
Yeah.
Single.
Should have fed all your chickens to it. Like, here you
Yeah.
go.
They are a
Sacrifice.
wild looking critter though. This would be a great
Are they
time.
like horrifying looking kind of?
They're just super unique. They can like open their bottom jaw like really wide.
Oh,
Like drop it way down, and then they have tiger stripes going down. They got this weird like transition on their back into their tail, and their tail is very
are they a
long.
canine or are they a feline?
I think. Oh man, I feel like
How long is their snout?
I feel
How long
like
is their
all my
snout?
credibility could be shot right now, but I kind of think they were a marsupial,
A marsupial?
and
I don't know about that.
but I might be wrong on that.
Yeah.
I'm going to look
might
it
be wrong
up.
on that.
How many?
But they have a long or had a long tail that almost looks like a mountain lion tail coming off their back.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, you don't really see dogs with like a super long tail like that, other than like, you know, a wolf, and then like a wolf has all that fur around it. This is just like a long, slender.
Okay, is that what they look like?
Yep, that's what they look like. Isn't that kind of weird?
Oh,
Look up and see it. Please look up. Fact check me on the marsupial thing.
and
And then Nick, you just edit
Says
that out.
the scientific name is Thylacinus cynocephalus, meaning dog-headed pouched dog.
dog-headed pouch
Don't see my
dog.
pit stains. We were just.
We were just hoeing weeds. That is fascinating.
So
and
it's
horrifying.
an extinct marsupial. It is a marsupial.
remember.
Oh my
Hey,
gosh.
you're credible.
Wait, how many
Kent for
pounds?
We're gonna
president.
trust
How
everything.
many pounds of buffalo grass was that?
Wow. Very fascinating.
Yeah, super wild critters.
Marsupial.
Yeah.
Okay, marsupial, that means they have a pouch, right?
Right. Yep.
Like kangaroos.
Yeah. Isn't it wild?
That's adorable.
Like
That is
everything
adorable.
over there, Australia, Tasmania, New Zealand, just a wild place.
Isn't Tasmania off of Africa?
No,
No,
that's
that's Madagascar. Man,
You're getting your childhood films mixed up.
Your cartoon creatures screwed up.
that's basically what happened. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us. This was hopefully educational and at the very least entertaining. And it
Yeah,
is
still time to order seed too. I mean, you're missing some good rain right now if you haven't ordered your seed, but it all
we got
hope is-
rain coming. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yep. So still can order that. Make sure if you're drinking coffee, you're drinking Wild Rivers coffee.
Absolutely. We appreciate you guys. Talk to you next time.
You tell them, brother, you got bad.